I'm glad I know who he is tonight.
Yeah.
I may say it's been a good week in the house of the Lord.
Amen.
When I add my voice to all of those this week, thank the Crossville Church.
Amen.
For the room, basket, your love, meals, fellowship. You know, every church in this country would love to have a meeting like this. They'd love to have 500, 400. But what our churches need to be reminded of, something like this just doesn't happen.
That's right.
There's some other numbers I'd like you to consider. I'd like you to consider about 40 or 50 in the kitchen every day.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Of 70 or 80 or 90 men and women in the prayer room. There were some people who gave $5, $10, $15, $20, $50, $100 throughout the year to pay for this meeting. Right. You understand, if you're going to do something like this, it's going to cost money. One of the greatest problems in our churches is we've got people, some people in some of our churches, that all they see is dollar signs and they don't want to spend any money, and they think the church is supposed to be a bank. It is not. If we're going to do good ministry, it's going to cost money. It's things that you'll never see. We were here this morning. Of course, all the out-of-town folks get treated so well, and I was getting ready to drive out of the parking lot, and I was in that front parking lot, and there was a teenager, and I didn't recognize, I couldn't see from that far away who it was. There wasn't anybody around. There wasn't anybody else in that hallway. There wasn't anybody else that saw him. He was washing that front. You say, what does that have to do with this meeting and God blessed it? It has a whole lot to do with it. Somebody doesn't care who gets credit. If anybody knows about it, nobody ever called his name, just stand out there washing the window. It takes a pastor who has a vision.
Right.
And by the way, this pastor is not just the host pastor. This pastor here at this church is one of the leading preachers, I consider, in the entire country. Somebody please right now, would you please, Randy, go to the nursery and get his wife out of the nursery and bring her in here?
Amen. Bless him, Lord.
This is important. Because this is another key. I'm talking about how you get a meeting like this. Is everybody paying attention?
Amen.
One of the things it takes, she's going to kill me.
Yes, sir, brother.
Here's what it takes. Not only a pastor. Come on, Pat, I know you can hear me. She must have a young'un on both arms. It takes a pastor and a wife of a pastor who is willing. Wait a minute, come on. Wedding anniversary in the nursery during family. Wedding anniversary. She's not even singing all the way. She's in the nursery. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary. God bless you. Happy all the folks in here that are near and dear to us, we love them. Camp meeting is also about confession, getting things right. I do have to confess, my feelings have been hurt a few times this week. Last night, we walked out after hearing Jacob Berry. And by the way, Jacob could at least, there ought to be a rule in the Constitution of this church or something, that Jacob has to lay off of the loud suits on the nights he's not preaching. You see this purple outfit here and the bow tie? Looks like Barney the dinosaur and Inspector Gadget got in a fight. But last night, we walked out. Somebody said, well, we heard the little preacher tonight. Coming back to hear the big one tomorrow night. And my wife has been my long-time friend. I've known my wife about as long as anybody in here. And the other night, in that sermon, what was it, Griff? Griff, where are you, Griff? Put Griff on his back. How long has he known Griff? I wonder which one of us is going to call that off first. But please, honestly, pray for it. You know, road life is not conducive to losing weight, but I am trying. Matter of fact, right now, I'll just go ahead and tell you, I'm right now trying something called the 30-day diet, and I'm really happy to announce to you that as of right now, I have lost 13 days so far. Back in November, my wife had double knee replacement, and I scheduled off. I was off all of December and January so I could take care of her. And listen, can I tell you, it was a long process and it was a painful recovery, but I'd like to report I'm doing real well. So she's doing great. The surgery really did good work, but after she got done her last rehab session, they said, you're going to need to stay on like a stationary bike. And so there happened right next door to the rehab center, there was a 24/7 fitness. And I said, well, I'll just take you over there and you can join the fitness club for a couple months. Well, we got over there and found out her work pays for some of it, and it was just as cheap for both of us to join. And I said, hey, you know, I'm from moral support. It wouldn't hurt me while she's on that bike to get on the, you know, the walking thing, you know. What is that called? Huh? A treadmill, that's it. And so next thing I know, I'm joining with her at the fitness club. And then they say, now we have a trainer that comes in, and he's going to interview you, and he's going to tell you what he does and if you want to use his services. So the next thing I know, I'm in this room with this guy who is measuring me all over the place, up and down, everywhere. And then he finds out, he tells me what my weight should be, and then he brings all these barbells, piles them up. This is what you're carrying around, all this big shamil, you know, and everything. So the next thing I know, I've got all worked up. I'm signing up for a personal trainer. You didn't have to laugh that loud. Then he said they were going to measure my body fat index. And they put my hands on two gear shift type things, and they said that's going to put electrical pulses through your body, and it'll tell us on the screen how much body fat you have. And honest to Pete, if I'm lying, I'm dying, but the machine said does not compute. Best I could tell, them electrodes didn't get very far if you know that draining chicken. So my trainer said Kroger's, your local Kroger store, has one of those machines, and you can go and do it there. So they've got the machine right next to all the checkout line, and I poke the buttons in. I'm trying to get over there being inconspicuous. All of a sudden, that thing's volume is turned up and says, "We will now measure your body fat." Everybody in the store, look. So then I got to go to a trainer. I got to commence to find him some workout clothes. Do you know that stores, they don't make workout clothes for people who need to work out? And I could go on and on, but listen, all I've got to say is if you hear these two words put together, CrossFit, run for your lives. It is a demonic thing from the pits of hell. It is a half hour of some guy running you from torture machine to torture machine until you're about ready to die. And I'm telling you, I was at the end of the half hour, and you know, everybody in the gym, they're all pretty. They're all looking in the mirror and this stuff. You know, they're all these pretty men and ladies. And every time I got done with an exercise, he's making me walk to the front door and get some water. And I guess he was worried about me. And so I'm going to the door, and I'm about to die. And I'm sucking air, and I feel like I could collapse at any moment. All these pretty people are standing over there. You know, it was kind of an awkward moment, so all I did was I turned around and said, "Body by Krispy Kreme." Here we go. But I am trying. So please pray for me. Covenant with me in that. Tonight,